That she is the host of Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered, and strangely enough, her name is Kinsey Schofield. Welcome, Kinsey. How you been?
Kev, are you wearing the tie because you just celebrated your anniversary with such a gorgeous lady?
I'm afraid I'm not. This is a black tie. I've been at James Whale's funeral.
Well, you know what? James Wales loves love. So
yeah. Well, I'm wearing this because I've dedicated the show to him, and I thought, well, I'll keep the gear on. I could have taken the tie off, but it was a lovely.
Well, you look very handsome.
Thank you very much. That's why I wore it. No, it was a lovely service. Really good send off. I never realised he's a very keen archer, you know, bows and arrows. So when we all stood around the grave as the coffin was being laid in, there are archers firing arrows into the sky. It was very impressive.
Oh my gosh!
Very impressive.
Oh, he was a modern day Cupid, our James. Oh. So sweet that he loved that.
Yeah, no, really. It was a great service, and here's to you, James. As I say, we've got another 45 minutes or so to go, but this show is for James Whale.
He would be very angry with us because he liked to defend Meghan Markle, so we should just get that out of the way.
Yeah, let's have a go at Meghan Markle just to annoy him. I always did like annoying old James. Well, first of all, though, let's talk about Harry. Harry is in London, beginning this 4-day visit. He's been to this Well Child event, a decent charity that he supports. He's been chatting with some of the kids and making jokes about the awkward relationships you can have with siblings. Perhaps not a good topic of conversation for old Ginger Nuts, given the circumstances. No sign of him seeing his dad yet, no sign of him seeing William. I don't think there's no chance whatsoever William will see him. There's an outside chance his dad, the King, might see him. But your thoughts so far on this visit?
Did you see the Times piece where Prince Harry's friends openly spoke out about how he wants to spend more time in the UK and there are security concerns? Now, he, according to his friends, admits that he should not have sued the government. His friends say that he now regrets that and realizes that was not the proper protocol. However, they say he's still quietly campaigning to get the security that he was fighting for.
Give it up, Harry! Give it up!
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, to me, that was just all more propaganda coming from Harry and Meghan's new PR team. You know this, I think you've said this on my show. Prince Harry can return to the UK whenever he chooses. We know specifically that Buckingham Palace has been offered to him on more than one occasion to stay at when he's in the UK. Can you come up with a more safe space? But he's declined to use it. In most cases, he's provided the level of protection he asked for, I'd say 9 times out of 10. The real sticking point, in my opinion, is control. He dislikes having to give Ravik 28 days notice, and he doesn't want to have to share his itinerary with them so that they can assess the appropriate security detail. If he follows that protocol, and there are credible threats that exist, protection is extended to him, absolutely. And of course, they're going to protect his wife and children. I feel like specifically with that article, it was less about really expressing safety concerns and more about a convenient excuse for Meghan to not have to be there and to gain public sympathy. You know, these are the consequences of his own choices. The royal family specifically said during Megxit negotiations, you lose your security, you lose this regular security, and he opted to leave anyway, to pursue Hollywood.
So at this Well Child bash today in London, he spoke to a teenager called 17, name of Declan Bitmead. He's won the Inspirational Young Person of the Year award. So Harry quizzed him about his family, and Declan replied, "I've got a brother." And Harry responded, "Does he drive you mad?" When Declan replied, "No, we get on fine," Harry replied, "You know what? Siblings." But I would say, you know, he's trying to make light of it, but his feud with his brother is not light-hearted. It's very profound. If there's an outside chance that he sees the King during this trip, and I do think it's outside, it's not likely, I don't think, but he may just see the King, but there's no chance he'll see William. William is in no mood to bury the hatchet, and I don't think he ever will be.
How has Prince William given him Eddie? You know, Prince William can't drive Prince Harry mad because he's refused to talk to him at least for the last 3 years. I don't think they've spoken since the King's coronation, maybe 2 years. I don't think they've spoken since the King's coronation. And I can't even guarantee that they spoke at the coronation. The last time we actually really saw them engaging with each other was perhaps when the Queen passed away. But yeah, Prince Harry's not even on Prince William's radar. He's got a packed schedule this week. He's going to be out and about. We saw him today at a women's center with the Princess of Wales. And I think Prince William is trying to protect his peace and protect his wife. You know, she had a horrible year last year. She had a horrible week last week because of all the nasty people online discussing her physical appearance. And he just knows that Prince Harry brings drama.
Yeah. Again, the King, it's his 3 years since he became, since the Queen passed away. And so this is a 3-year celebration of the King's reign. There were gun salutes here in London today. But on this 3-year anniversary, I suspect, we don't know yet, Harry's got 3 days or so still to go of this visit. I suspect that the King will not see him, which will confirm. See, Harry's got this plan now. He's desperate to rehabilitate himself in the minds of the British public. If you're listening, Harry, or you're watching, you've got a long way to go. But that's what he wants to do. So he's trying to sort of make light of everything that happened over the last few years, the last 5 years since Megxit. And his crimes, though, his offences, you know, in terms of calling the royal family racist, you know, having a go at Catherine, having a go at William and so on. And the rest of the family, particularly the Queen Camilla. He's had a really called her the villain of the story, didn't he? I mean, his crimes in the verbal grenades that he's hurled at the royal family are profound, aren't they? You can't just go, oh, well, that was all in the past. Let's kiss and make up. That's what I don't think he realises. He doesn't realise the depth of the pain that he caused to the royal family with his careless talk to various TV interviewers.
Oh, I completely agree with you. He wants us to all have the memory of a goldfish. You know, because around the time of the Queen's passing, we're going to be reminded of some of these stories, like in the Daily Beast, about how Prince William sat in a jet, waiting for word on whether or not Prince Harry was actually going to be going with them, because there was a tug of war going on behind the scenes between Prince Harry and King Charles, with Harry demanding that Meghan be allowed to attend, and the King saying, no, absolutely not. We hear a little bit about this in Spare, about how, you know, the King lays out why he doesn't want Meghan Markle to attend, and Prince Harry says, don't talk about my wife this way. And then the King breaks down and says, well, Catherine's not coming. But certain members of the royal family missed their goodbye to Queen Elizabeth because they sat on a tarmac trying to figure out what was going on with Prince Harry, because Prince Harry was in the background pitching a fit over Meghan Markle not being able to attend when Catherine was staying behind. So certain members of the royal family did not get those last moments with Queen Elizabeth because they were waiting for this very selfish, allegedly, individual. And then finally, Prince Harry booked his own way there, and the family took off. So those stories are going to circulate around this time every year. Prince Harry can show up at Windsor Castle unannounced and you know, say what he wants to say to the Queen. But we've heard through Sally Bedell Smith, and you know, at her memorial, we've heard from Sally Bedell Smith through Lady Elizabeth Anson over the last few months that the Queen was really unhappy with Prince Harry, that there was an element of betrayal there. She felt excluded from their wedding. She couldn't believe their behavior. She was disappointed by the fact that Harry could just give up his duty, you know, the duty that kept the Queen motivated.
Absolutely, for abrogation of duty. Now, let's talk about the King. I want to talk about as ever in a little while, but just briefly about the King. I mean, he's being pulled from all sides here. Now, the King we know Charles hates confrontation, and he, I think, would like to heal this family rift, this family feud, if he could. However, he's being pulled from all directions. Harry wants a peace pact, but William has been telling the king, we know this, I don't want any peace with that guy after what he's done. So the king will defer to William. Also, of course, Camilla, the queen. Camilla's saying to Charlie, look, you know, he was horrible about me. He called me the villain of the story. He was disgraceful about me and, in fact, the rest of the family in that nasty little book, Spare. So Camilla's not keen on the reunion either. So the king, I think, will defer to his wife and his eldest son, the future king. Therefore, I suspect, I mean, I may well be proved wrong in the next couple of days, but I suspect some kind of meeting with the king is a long shot.
Well, I brought up that piece in the Times that ran over the weekend prior to Prince Harry landing, and you and I have discussed this as well. You know, I think I think less of it is about what Harry has said about Queen Camilla and more about Queen Camilla trying to protect King Charles. And I think that that's why Prince Harry is rarely left alone. I had Hugo Vickers tell me the Queen never wanted to be left alone with Harry and Meghan. They wanted something from her. Or they remember when they rolled up to Windsor with a professional Vogue photographer, and she said absolutely not. So Hugo says that the Queen never wanted to be left alone with them. She was afraid of what they were going to try to get out of her. I believe the same goes for King Charles, and that's why Queen Camilla is always there with King Charles, because she's this buffer. She's there to protect him. And there's the story that circulated a few years ago of the Queen saying to King Charles, or Prince Charles at the time, why, Queen Elizabeth, why won't you take Harry's calls? He's calling me. And we even found out over the weekend that Harry tried to provide the Queen with like a rogue cell phone so he could get in contact with her directly.
Really? That's extraordinary.
I guess like he felt like she was being held hostage or something. Apparently Prince Andrew's done something similar where they want a direct line to her, and she's like, what am I going to do with this? And it just ends up in one of her employees' top drawers. But you know, King Charles, Prince Charles at the time, says to Queen Elizabeth, I'm not a bank, I'm not an ATM. You know, Harry always wants something. And the reason I bring up that article about from the Times is because, again, this is Harry campaigning for security. This is Harry campaigning for sympathy. And in Harry not getting his way, the king looks like a villain. Now, if he does see Prince Harry and Harry has the opportunity to confront him about the security situation, which they have not spoken about since before the BBC interview that Harry gave, where he accuses this of being some stitch up against him and saying somebody's out to get him in the Ravik committee. They have not spoken about this since then. If the king says anything to Harry about this, he risks Harry repeating it and him looking like the villain, and this, you know, the headlines, the chaos surrounding these headlines starting all over again.
Yeah, and Harry indicating, you know, through friends, the usual sources in the last month or so, that he's really keen to bring his kids over to the country to show them where he grew up, to show them his home country. Well, what was it, a few months back, you know, after he lost the court case for his own security when he comes to Britain, there he was saying, well, look, that means I can never bring my kids to Britain. I can never do it. They've prevented me from bringing my family to Britain. Now all of a sudden he's been letting it known that he desperately wants to bring them. There's no consistency with this guy. He's like a little kid, isn't he?
He truly is. And I think that that's one of the reasons King Charles doesn't want to deal with him, because he is like a little kid. What are you going to ask me for? What are you going to want from me? I have cancer. I'm just trying to keep the peace. I'm just trying to heal my body. Every day I'm trying to wake up and do something great. And, you know, what does Harry, I'm sure he feels like Harry's clawing at him, wanting something. And that's why I don't care how
money, that's what he wants.
Yeah. Right. And I don't care how many nice, you know, if Harry getting back into charity, okay, great. You know, I'm under the impression too little too late. Too much damage has been done and too much hurt towards the Queen, you know, not just during the wedding, but towards the end of her life. As the Queen lie dying, she had the Netflix series and Spare
Yeah.
you know, haunting her dreams.
Absolutely.
She had no idea what was on the horizon, but she knew it wasn't good based on Harry and Meghan's bitterness, vengefulness, based on the Oprah interview alone.
Yeah, those two made the Queen's last year painful, and millions of people won't forgive them for that. Let's talk about Meghan now. Let's talk about As Ever. I don't know if you read the Daily Mail on Saturday, was it? A big piece by Jan Muir. I thought about you. Well, I think about you a lot, obviously, Kinsey, but I thought about you as I read that. And it's exactly what I've been telling you. So Jan Muir said, what is this business? What is it? You know, who the hell is going to spend, you know, what's the new thing? $9 on a jar of marmalade, $14 on a jar of jam. You know, she made the point that I always make to you, Kinsey, which is this, that these products are incredibly mundane. They're just mundane kitchen products. They're jam, cookie mix. Okay, we've got some wine now, but that's very overpriced. So they're incredibly mundane domestic kitchen products priced astronomically. So your chance to buy a jar of marmalade for $9 when in any grocery store you can get it for $2. Jan Muir makes the point. She said, who buys this stuff? And even if anybody does buy it, who's going to buy it again? My point that I keep making to you, I see no future in this business. I don't understand this business. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, there's something. First of all, I just had this conversation over the weekend because somebody was like, why jam? Why jam? I don't understand. Because she wasn't making jam during her TIG days. Everybody's like, oh, As Ever, throwback to her TIG days. No, what she's doing is she's looking at what's in the gift shops at King Charles's estates.
Yes.
And she's literally just throwing her ugly calligraphy on a package. And she's assuming that we're going to be the same, you know, like stupid enough to go, this is the Duchess of Sussex's. No, girlfriend. That is made in some nasty factory in Illinois or whatever. Meghan Markle is not sitting there making this in her own kitchen in Montecito. It's not the same when you go to a King Charles estate. This is fruit picked from, you know, his trees. You know, these are teas that are crafted and cultivated in his own, you know, country, in his own place, you know, on his own land.
By the way, Kinsey, also the King and now Prince William's produce from the Duchy of Cornwall. I mean, it's not renowned for being that cheap, but it's not sort of...
But it goes to charity. Yeah. It goes to charity.
But it's not ludicrously expensive. I would say that that Meghan stuff is ludicrously expensive. And, you know, I know I've made this point many times, but it was like sort of music to my eyes as I read Jan Muir's piece. Exactly what I've been saying is this, you know, why would you, you know, fill out a form online, put your credit card in and send off for a jar of marmalade for $9?
And then get the email saying that she doesn't have the product, Kev. Not just...
You say that. The marmalade is the first produce that didn't sell out. But my point is, after you've ordered it, you know, you've got to wait 3 months till it turns up. Whereas... you could nip next door to your local grocery store, buy it for a fraction of the price. All of her produce you can buy at 7-Eleven right now, cheap, and be drinking and eating it in 5 minutes. Why fill out a form, put your card in, wait 3 months, and pay through the nose for it? It doesn't make any business sense whatsoever.
No, I look at people like Hailey Bieber, who is trolled online, mega trolled online. She, you know, Selena Gomez fans, Justin Bieber fans attack this girl. And you know, what happened with Hailey is that she made a legitimately good product when it comes to Rhode beauty, whether it's her lip gloss or her skincare products. It's legitimately good. Everyone that tried, I've never heard somebody go, this is the best rosé I've ever had in my life, or this is the best loose fruit spread I've ever had. And everybody's like,
Scam
it's
jam.
okay. Like, it's all right. I mean, like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
if
it's
you want to
okay.
be weird and have a niche or a niche, as you guys say over there, then it's got to be the very best. It has to be ultimately the most delicious, the most gorgeous, and you can't screw up. You can't have to be you can't be emailing clients, 48 hours after their order to be like, just kidding, thanks for your credit card information, but I don't actually have the product available. I just want to go throw it back to November 2024. When someone from Team Meghan leaked to Page 6 that 2025 was going to be the year of the Markle Sparkle. Failed podcast. One, okay, we'll pretend it was successful season of With Love Meghan. Season 2 bombed out the floor. I mean, no one watched season 2. Tomorrow, Meghan's team goes to court with Samantha Markle because
really? I didn't realize that.
her about defamation. So we'll see what comes out of that. This has not been the year of the Markle Sparkle. I mean, she had to completely rebrand American Riviera Orchard to As Ever. And, it's been problem after problem when it's come to As Ever. Not having enough inventory, the worm in the video with her cookies.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't great, was it?
I mean, it's just like, this has been, in my personal opinion, a nightmare year for Meghan.
That's an indication. The worm is an indication of her amateurishness. There's a very amateur feeling about this. And I think you're right, Kinsey. I think that what she was looking for was a range of products, to sell on the back of her allegedly popular name. She didn't really come up with much of any stature, nothing much she could come up with, so it ended up being jam and cookie mix. I mean, come on.
Well, and don't forget, she said during her Times 100 sit down that it was Netflix that brought her this idea because she naturally was giving everyone jam and she's like, yes, so and so from Netflix said that this was the direction I should go. Yeah, but it's always like she threw that out there because she did not want to be blamed if it failed. And
that's a good point. Yeah, laying the blame off to someone else. I'll tell you one thing though, Kinsey. As Ever won't last forever. In fact, I don't predict it's going to last too much longer. I just don't get it. I never did. All my suspicions confirmed in this excellent piece in the Daily Mail. I don't think it's going anywhere. Kinsey, really great to talk to you again. You'll be back on Thursday. I am glad